Hello. Okay, so hello everyone, welcome back to GDC English classes. Good morning to all of you. And here we are back again for your NIPER model paper number 10, Anna, for the explanation of that one. Yeah, good morning everyone. Good morning. Am I audible or not? Yeah, I am audible. Yes, chalo. Okay, so let's start with this one, right? So NIPER JEE 2026 model paper 10, Anna. And 10 a.m. is the time. Now let's start with this one, all right? So this is the pharma portion that I'll be taking. Pharmacology, jurisprudence, cognosy, and biochemistry, pharmaceutics, and microbiology. Yeah, these are the subjects that I'll be taking on, right? Chalo, let's go ahead for the first question of pharmacology, right? Okay, let's go ahead now. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead. And here's the first question that we have. Which of the following routes shows absorption through pore transport mechanism? Okay, pore transport mechanism I am asking. Which of the following shows absorption through pore transport mechanism, right? Transdermal, inhalation, subcutaneous, or vaginal. Pore transport is for the aqueous drugs, right? Pore transfer is for your aqueous drugs. So is it through transdermal, inhalation, subcutaneous, or vaginal? What's that? Yeah. So this is your inhalational drugs. Inhalational that you take through your nasal cavity, right? That you takes through nasal cavity, and that is what the inhalation over here. Here you can see pore transport filtration involves the movement of small water soluble molecules through aqueous pores or channels in membrane, especially inhalation route across the alveolar membrane and allow absorption of gas and some small hydrophilic molecules. Right? So now which one is used as the respiratory stimulant? Okay, so this respiratory stimulant is also known to be as your guys analeptic. Okay, remember that. This is also known to be as your analeptic over here. So is it your amphetamine, doxabram, fluoxetine, or doxepin? What's that? Yeah, anyone? That is nothing but your doxapram only, which is considered to be as a respiratory stimulant, right? Sure. Doxapram, respiratory stimulant, analeptic that stimulates the respiratory center in the medulla and peripheral carotid body chemoreceptors. Okay. See, amphetamine is also a CNS stimulant used for mainly ADHD as well as narcolepsy. Okay. Sure. Which of the following drug significantly blocks the funny cation channels in pacemaker? Okay, there is funny current as well. What's that? Funny current, right? In your pacemaker. So what's that? Which is going to block that funny current? Is it your cilostazole, pentoxifylline, ivabradine, or trimetazidine? What's that, guys? Yeah, anyone? This is obviously your ivabradine over here, which comes to be your funny current blocker, right? IF, if I talk about IF, है All right, chalo. Let's go ahead now. Ivabradine, है Okay. Which of the following is a non-epithelial malignancy tumor? Okay, non-epithelial. Non-epithelial means not under the epithelial tissue, है Malignancy tumor they are asking. Is it your nevus, adenoma, lipoma, or fibrosarcoma? Non-epithelial. They're asking. Yeah, anyone? Anyone, guys? Over here. Is it your nevus, adenoma, lipoma, fibrosarcoma? That is your fibrosarcoma, because your fibrosarcoma will be taking place in your bones, right? Fibrous tissues, sarcoma. All right, sure. Okay. The F value for a drug product compared to its F value. Okay, yes. So is that what? Elimination rate? No, rate of elimination is nothing but the amount of drug excreted per unit time, right? That is what rate of elimination. Absolute viability? Yes, exactly. That is what considered to be as through F. This is denoted by F only, है ना? The fraction of drug that reaches into the systemic circulation, that is what? Absolute bioavailability. Okay. Dosing rate, clearance rate. Clearance rate is nothing but your rate of elimination upon plasma concentration, right? That's a simple formula for this one. Okay, let's go ahead now. Okay, now epsilon aminocaproic acid 𝙂𝙀 is what? 𝙂𝙀 is what, guys? 𝙂𝙀 is nothing but your antifibrinolytic agent, right? 𝙂𝙀 is nothing but your antifibrinolytic agent. Antithrombotic, that is your ones which elevates the platelet ones, है ना? Platelet life. Thrombolytics, which you can say like antiplatelets as well. This also known to be as your antiplatelets, right? Antiplatelets, है ना? For example, TXA2 inhibitor and aspirin. Antifibrinolytic, these are your epsilon aminocaproic acid. Along with that, tranexamic acid also. Tranexamic acid also, the one which is your this antifibrinolytic, right? Chalo, very nice. Now, respiratory cartilage is composed of respiratory cartilage. I am asking. There is a cartilage over here. Respiratory cartilage that is composed of what? Hyaline cartilage, elastic cartilage, fibrocartilage, or axial cartilage. Yeah, anyone? Out of three and four students, can anyone answer this one, guys? This one is easy. This one is easy, right? That's your hyaline cartilage only. Anna, hyaline cartilage only over here. Tracheal rings. Here you can see tracheal rings. That's what I'm talking about over here. Hyaline. Yeah. Chalo. Now, trachea is also called as windpipe, bronchus, lungs, or diaphragm. Yeah, trachea. Trachea is nothing but known to be as your windpipe, which further goes towards the bronchioles, your lungs. Simple? Sure. Fine. Now, 20 days, 20 model paper, guys. I think, and I hope that you are giving it on a regular basis, 20 days, 20 model paper for your NIPER examination, right? All right. Now, select the drug of granulocyte colony stimulating factor. Okay. GSF, granulocyte stimulating colony factor, GSF. What is that? Filgrastim, methotrexate, erythropoietin, or doxorubicin? We are talking about granulocyte, right? So granulocyte are nothing but your WBCs. These are nothing but your WBCs, and these WBCs are going to be increased in filgrastim, and this is specifically used in some cancer patients. These are something specifically used for in your cancer patients, right? Cancer patients. So this is you have to remember. Okay, methotrexate, that's your anti-cancer drug, anti-folate, folate reductase. Erythropoietin increases the RBC level, right? Doxorubicin is an antibiotic of your anti-cancer drug, right? So now drug has a weak mu agonistic effects and inhibitory action on norepinephrine and serotonin reuptake inhibitor in the CNS. Loperamide, tramadol, fluoxetine, butorphanol. That is nothing but your tramadol only. Tramadol, which comes into the market as which name? That is your Ultra Set. Ultra Set is a brand name of this tramadol. Tramadol, which is your morphine derivative, right? Which is your morphine derivative, right? Chalo. Okay. The non-contraceptive clinical use of progestins are following. Okay. So apart from contraceptive use of the progestin, what are the clinical indication of progesterone? Right? Is it your HRT, dysmenorrhea, endometriosis, or all of the above? What's that? Hormone replacement therapy, HRT. Dysmenorrhea. Dysmenorrhea is what, guys? When you're having the painful uh, menstrual cycle, right? Endometriosis or all of the above? What's the correct answer? Yeah, that is all of the above. In all of these condition, these progesterones are being utilized, right? Okay. Now, liothyronine is synthetic oral analog of what? Yeah, liothyronine is synthetic oral analog of what? T4, TSH, TRH, or T3. What's that, guys? Liothyronine is nothing but your T3. And what about T4? The T4 is known to be as your thyroxine. Thyroxine, Anna, thyroxine. By the way, T3 and T4, T3 and T4, these are secreted from thyroid gland. These are secreted from your thyroid gland. And if I talk about TSH, the TSH is secreted from your pituitary gland. Okay, make sure you remember it. TSH is secreted from your pituitary gland. TRH, that is from hypothalamus. That is through hypothalamus. Right? So liothyronine is synthetic oral analog of T3. Okay, so make sure you remember this one. All right, sure. Okay. Now, renin-mediated production of angiotensin 1 ultimately affect what? Okay. So once you feel like you're having low blood volume or you're having low blood pressure, so what's going to be happen? Your renin senses that, juxtaglomerular cells senses that from the JG cells of kidney, from JG cells of kidney, this renin is going to be increased, and this renin is responsible for conversion of angiotensin to angiotensin 1, and further it takes to angiotensin 2, and once angiotensin 2 converts through ACE enzyme, ACE enzyme, this your then what's going to be happen? This angiotensin 2 binds to angiotensin receptor, and after that they have two actions: direct action or indirect action. Direct action is what? That's your vasoconstrictor, potent vasoconstriction, and indirect action, that's your increase the sodium as well as water retention, right? Okay. Now, systemic vascular resistance, contractility of ventricles, sympathetic activity, or pulmonary secretion. What's going to happen? Obviously, this is going to increase the blood pressure after that. Once the vasoconstriction takes place, sympathetic activity always being going to increase. Systemic vascular resistance, contractility of ventricles, sympathetic activity, or pulmonary secretion. What's that? That is your SVR, because that's through direct action. That's your direct action of what? Angiotensin, 2. That will be your vasoconstriction, that will be your vasoconstriction, and once the vasoconstriction takes place, SVR is going to be increased. SVR, or you can say PVR, or you can say TPR, whatever it is, that is going to be increased. Systemic peripheral resistance, peripheral vascular resistance, total peripheral resistance, that is going to be increased, and ultimately your BP is also going to be increased, right? Okay. Gastric ulceration caused by the administration of aspirin is categorized as an adverse effect of what? On target, off target, idiosyncratic, or immunogenic? Anyone over here, guys? Yeah? Anyone? Who can answer this one? Yeah? Anyone, guys? Who can answer this one? That is your on target, because aspirin will be inhibiting this COX-1 enzyme, which normally produces prostaglandin that protect the gastric mucosa. Increasing the mucus secretion, increases the bicarbonate, and maintaining a mucosal blood flow, that is also going to be inhibit. These all things going to be inhibit. So that is your on target 1. Which of the following antiviral drug which belongs to endogenous protein? Okay. Antiviral drug belongs to endogenous. Okay. What are the ones which are prepared through endogenous? Endogenous means that is prepared through inside the body, right? These are prepared inside the body. That is what known to be as an endogenous protein, right? So is it your amantadine, sakinavir, interferon, or penciclovir? Yeah. What's that? That is obviously your interferon alpha, which is the antiviral drug, but also synthesized from inside in the body, right? So interferon alpha is going to be your correct answer. Mechanism of action of cyclosporin A. Okay. Cyclosporin, or you can say like tacrolimus, tacrolimus. These are both considered to be as in the category of immunosuppressant, right? Immunosuppressant, immunosuppressant. So these are going to do what, guys? Complement mediated cytolysis of T lymphocytes, ADC towards T lymphocyte, inhibits calcineurin. Yes, inhibits calcineurin. Competitin for FC receptor with auto antibodies. No, C is going to be your correct answer, right? Cyclosporin with tacrolimus. Very good, Dikshita. Very nice. It's C only. Okay. An ethylene diamine derivative used as anti-tubercular drug. Okay. Ethylene diamine derivative. Okay. Ethylene diamine derivative. Ethionamide, pyrazinamide, isoniazid, or ethambutol. What's that, guys? Simple. Simple. What's the correct answer over here? Yeah, anyone? Ethylene diamine derivative? Huh? That is obviously your ethionamide. It's written over here only. See? Eth and eth. Ethylene diamine derivative. Yep. Simple. Over here. Yeah? Exactly, Dikshita. Very nice. Ethambutol. Okay. Ethambutol. Okay, guys. So sorry for that. Yeah. Ethambutol is considered to be as a derivative as anti-tubercular drug. So sorry. And ethambutol. And since ethambutol, E for ethambutol, you remember? E for ethambutol and E for I toxicity, right? I toxicity. E for ethambutol, E for I toxicity, right? This is going to be your adverse drug reaction that you have to mention over here. Okay. So therapeutic index is what? A ratio used to evaluate the safety and usefulness of a drug for indication. Okay. A ratio used to evaluate the effectiveness of a drug, bioavailability, elimination. What's that? Simple. Therapeutic index is nothing but TILE. You have learned, right? So this TILE is nothing but therapeutic index is the ratio of LD50 upon ED50. Maximum the LD50, more the safety. Therapeutic index is just a ratio of safety only. So A is going to be your correct answer over here. Okay. Chalo. Yes, A is going to be your correct answer. Okay. 𝘂𝙎 disease is caused by the poisoning of 𝘂𝙎 disease. 𝘂𝙎 disease, yeah, through cadmium, lead, iron, or arsenic. Guys, simple. Yeah, 𝘂𝙎 disease is caused by the poisoning of that is your cadmium only, right? Cadmium. 𝘂𝙎 disease, which is caused by chronic cadmium poisoning. It was first reported in Japan due to the consumption of rice contraindicated by contaminated by cadmium from the mining waste. Okay, that's you have to remember. Okay, chalo. An anti-cancer drug which crosses the blood-brain barrier. Simple, 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 simple. Anti-cancer drug which crosses the blood-brain barrier. That is nothing but your what? Cisplatin, vincristine, nitrosourea, or vinblastin. Yeah, simple most question over here. An anti-cancer drug which crosses the blood-brain barrier. Is it your cisplatin, vincristine, nitrosourea, or vinblastin? What's that? Yeah, anyone? That's nothing but your nitrosourea, which involves carmustin and 𝘂𝙄mustin, right? Carmustin and 𝘂𝙄mustin. These are the ones which are going to cross this blood-brain barrier and hence useful and also in brain tumor, right? These are very much useful in your brain tumor as well. Okay, so make sure you remember this one. All right. Okay. So nitrosurea is going to be a correct answer. Now, which of the tetracycline can be given in renal toxicity? Okay, renal toxicity, that's your renal failure, obviously. That is a dimethylocycline, minocycline, doxycycline, or tetracycline. How guys? Anyone? That is your doxycycline over here, है ना? Apart from that, if I talk about phototoxicity, then it would be your dimethylocycline as well as doxycycline, which can cause phototoxicity as well. Okay, make sure you remember this one. Okay. Now, which of the following drug will not cause hemolysis in G6PD deficiency? G6PD deficiency, pyrimethamine, aspirin, dapsone, or sulfonamide? Guys, which of the following drug will not cause hemolysis G6PD deficiency? Pyrimethamine, aspirin, dapsone, or sulfonamide? Anyone? G6PD? That's you? Aspirin. Pyrimethamine. Okay. Pyrimethamine drug will not cause G6PD. Chlorpuaginyl dapsone has been linked to hemolysis. And symptomatic glucose phosphate dehydrogenase deficient. Okay. All right. Now, platelet cells are synthesized from cells. Okay, guys. Platelet cells are synthesized from which one? Microkaryocyte, eukaryocyte, polykaryocyte, or megakaryocytes? Platelet cells are always going to be your megakaryocyte, right? Okay. Now, the valve between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery is what? Yeah. The valve between the right ventricle and the pulmonary artery is called as, for example, this is your heart, right? This is your heart, this is your right atrium, right ventricle, left atrium, left ventricle. Now what they have asked, that wall between right ventricle and the pulmonary artery. Okay, pulmonary artery goes through like this over here, so this is what? This is what? Pulmonary valve, semilunar valve, bicuspid valve, or tricuspid valve? What's that? Yeah, what's that? That is obviously going to be your pulmonary valve, obviously. Pulmonary artery, because pulmonary artery going through from this direction to this direction, that is your lungs over here. That is your lungs over here. So that is obviously your pulmonary valve, right? Yeah, pulmonary valve. Sure. The drug found to be beneficial in amyotrophic lateral sclerosis is, okay, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, that's your ALS, which is a neurodegenerative disorder, right? So that's your resergelin, edaveron, rotigotine, or tetrabenzazine, benazine. Yeah, that is your edaravone over here. All right. Loading dose of a drug primarily depends on clearance, volume of distribution, half-life, or all of the above. Loading dose is nothing but your first dose that you wanna give to a patient. So that is dependent on your volume of distribution, because maximum the volume distribution, more it will be reaching into the tissues, right? So according to that, we have to finalize the dose of that drug. Is it less? Then we have to increase the dose. If it is high volume of distribution, then low dose we have to give, right? Loading dose depends on to the volume of distribution, whereas maintenance dose, if I talk about maintenance dose, this maintenance dose is dependent on to the clearance as well as half-life. Okay, so make sure you remember this one. All right, all of the following are endpoints of okay, all of the following are endpoints for cancer clinical trials except, okay, clinical trials endpoint means once the cancer clinical trial ends, what are the endpoints of that? Is it your overall survival, disease-free survival, objective response rate, or incomplete response? What's that? Yeah, that would be your incomplete response, because that is not a kind of any kind of parameter that you used to check when you're having the anti-cancer drugs ka clinical trial. Overall, these three are the parameter, whether the patient survived or not, these things. Okay, which of the following can be used for chronic neuropathic post-herpes zoster pain? Okay, which of the following can be used for chronic neuropathic post-herpes zoster pain? Is it your duloxetine, sodium valproate, pethidine, or codeine? Guys, what's that? Yeah, duloxetine, sodium valproate, pethidine, or codeine? Yeah, anyone? That's your duloxetine over here, which is your used in anti-anxiety as well as anti-depression also, but this is your duloxetine SSRI, SSRI, duloxetine. Depression, used to treat depression and incontinence. It can also be useful in the treating certain types of pain produced by spontaneously from damaged parts of the nervous system. Okay, chalo. Which of the following is effective against Leishmania Donnelly infection? Leishmania Donnelly, metronidazole, melarsoprol, miltefosine, or nifurtimox? Guys, anyone? Anyone over here? That's your miltefosine, right? Okay. Sulfonamide useful in the treatment of malaria. Okay, so malaria. Sulfadiamidine, sulfafurazole, sulfasalazine, or sulfadoxine? Yes. So sulfadoxine plus pyrimethamine plus pyrimethamine, right? Plus pyrimethamine. Okay, so these are the ones which are known to be used to be useful in malaria over here. Whereas sulfadoxine is your long doctor, means long acting drug. Sulfadoxine is nothing but your long acting drug. Sulfasalazine useful in your will be a mutual prodrug which will be giving sulfapyridine plus 5-ASA, that is your aminosalicylic acid. Okay, sulfapyridine useful in rheumatoid arthritis, whereas 5-ASA is useful in your what? 5-ASA is useful in your ulcerative colitis. Ulcerative colitis. Okay, so this is you have to remember. So answer would be over here sulfadoxine. Alright, sure. Okay. Alright guys, so this is all about the pharmacology. Now let's move on to the pharmaceutical jurisprudence 5 MCQs over here. Okay. Now guys, you have to tell me how many questions you have done right in each category of subject. Now let's talk about this pharmaceutical jurisprudence. So at the end of this pharmaceutical jurisprudence, you have to tell me how many questions you have done right. Okay. Sure. Okay, which section prohibits advertisements that make false claims about drug? Okay, first question. Is it your section 1, section 3, section 4, or section 6? What's that? Yeah, that is nothing but your section 4 over here. Okay, section 4, prohibition of misleading advertisement related to drugs. Okay, now ICH E2 series primarily deals with good clinical practice, clinical safety data management, carcinogenicity studies, non-clinical safety studies. E2 guys. E2, that is your clinical data safety management, right? Clinical data safety management. Okay, this table is very much important in the context of your NIPER examination, guys. Do remember this one. The number of nominated to the State Pharmacy Council is, okay, nominated members to the State Pharmacy Council, 3, 4, 5, or 6? 3, 4, 5, or 6? What's that? That is your 5 people who stays as a nominated people over here. Okay, Shall Schedule T is applicable to Schedule T. That is for allopathic medicines, veterinary, medicines, Ayurvedic or homeopathic? Yeah, the schedule T is related to your Ayurvedic one, which is known to be as your GMP of Ayurvedic drug. है ना? GMP of Ayurvedic drug over here. है ना? GMP. Okay, Ayurvedic medication. है ना? Here you can see requirements GMP of active premises for Ayurvedic, Siddha and Unani drugs. Literary, aesthetic and artistic words are protected primarily by literary, aesthetic and artistic work, patent, trademark, copyright or GI. What is GI? Guys, that is your copyright over here. Copyright are the ones which can protect. Innovations, research can be protected through patent, right? Okay. Trademark for your brand name, logos, symbols, patent, innovations, inventions, product, process, technologies, and a geographical identification, product whose quality, reputation, or characteristics are linked to a specific geographical region, that is also known to be as a geographical indication over here. Okay. Now tell me how many questions you got right. Now tell me how many questions you got right into this pharmaceutical jurisprudence. Anyone? Now let's talk about pharmacognosy. Okay. Now Ayurvedic fermented preparation includes what? Churn, tel, bhasma, arista or aswas. So if I talk about fermented preparations, the fermented preparation that involves alcohol, that involves alcohol, So alcohol ke liye you will be having aristas as well as aswas. Aristas as well as aswas. That is your Ayurvedic fermented preparation. Okay. All right. Let's go. All right. A resin of animal origin is a resin of 3 Dikshita. Okay. Uday Krishnan Appam, that's your 3. Okay. Alright, not bad. Okay, over here. Is it your benzoin, shellac, myrrh, or asafoetida? Resin of animal origin. Resin of animal origin. Benzoin, Sumatra benzoin, shellac, myrrh, or asafoetida. What's that? Yeah, that is your shellac over here. Here you can see animal origin, that's a shellac. Asafoetida, balsam of Peru, storax, myrrh, epomea, these are all your vegetable sources. Okay. Shellac is only the animal one. The alcohol solution of Sudan 3 useful for the identification of which thing? Resins, alkaloids, fixed oils, or volatile oils? Yeah. Alcohol solution of Sudan 3. Sudan 3. Resins, alkaloids, fixed oils, or volatile oils? Anyone? It is your volatile oils over here. Okay. Chalo. Panax ginseng belong to the family of Panax ginseng. Panax ginseng, Arulaceae, Solanaceae, Scopularaceae, or Cruciferae. Or Cruciferae. Yeah, guys. Panax ginseng belong to the family. That is your Arulaceae, right? Okay. The term pharmacognosy was first introduced by pharmacognosy, Analecta pharmacognosta. Yeah, anyone? Analecta pharmacognosta. Cognista, yes. So is it your Pelletier, Sir Turner and Pelletier, Sir Turner, Stassonotto, or C.A. Sidler? That's your C.A. Sidler who coined the first time. That's your pharmacognosy. Okay. C.A. Sidler. Okay, Sidler. Dioscorides were the father of pharmacognosy. George Ebers, Papyrus Ebers. Theophrastus, father of botany. Aristotle, father of zoology. Hippocrates, father of medicine. Biochemistry, 5 MCQs. Biochemistry, 5 MCQs. Aldolase enzyme belongs to the class of transferase, ligase, or hydrolase. Yeah. So before this one, tell me how much question you got right in pharmacognosy, by the way. How many questions you got right in pharmacognosy? Is it your? Now over here, aldolase enzyme belongs to class transferase, lyase, ligase, or hydrolase. Aldolase I am asking about. Aldolase is nothing but your lyase enzyme. Okay, lyase are the enzymes which are specialized in addition of or removal of water, ammonia, or carbon dioxide. These are your lyase enzymes. Okay, aldolase, ketones, 1-phosphate aldehyde, lyase. Okay, these are the ones that's your aldolase. Okay. Now, isoelectric point of amino acid is what? Isoelectric point of amino acid is your temperature, pH, pressure, or volume. 4. Okay, Dikshita, very nice. Now this one, isoelectric point of amino acid, temperature, pH, pressure, or volume. Amino acids. Obviously, that would be your pH over here. At which amino acid carries the no net electric charge. A sugar alcohol. Sugar alcohol is mannitol, trehalose, glucose, or arabinose. Sugar alcohol, mannitol, trehalose, glucose, or arabinose over here. Yes, anyone? Sugar alcohol. That's your mannitol over here, which is also considered to be as your which diuretic? Osmotic diuretic. है ना? Mannitol. Okay, chalo. Sugar alcohol. Precursor of insulin called as proinsulin contains what? There is a pre-proinsulin, then proinsulin, and then comes insulin. So what's that? Is it your 68, 86, 79, or 97? What's that, guys? The pre-proinsulin is 110. 110 is your, sorry, 110 is it your pre-pro-insulin. Okay, pre-pro-insulin. That's your 110. 110. After that, this proinsulin will be of your 86. Proinsulin will be of your 86, and the insulin would be your 51, out of which A is having 21 and B is having your 30. So this is you have to remember. Okay, 86 is your correct answer. Now, which of the following is a non-reducing sugar? Non-reducing, which of these are non-reducing one? Glucose, fructose, lactose, or sucrose? Yeah. What's the correct one? Non-reducing. Non-reducing are one which do not give any Fehling test. Do not give the positive Fehling test over here. So these are the non-reducing, non-reducing. Okay. Sucrose over here, obviously. Sucrose would be your correct answer. By the way, all these glucose, fructose, lactose, these are your reducing ones. But this sucrose is going to be your correct answer, which is your non-reducing, right? Apart from sucrose, these are your trehalose as well. Trehalose as well, which is your non-reducing sugar. Okay. Now, pharmaceutical chemistry and allied subject 15 MCQs. Okay. Okay. Which of the following gives iodoform test? Gives iodoform test. Is it a propanolol, 2-propanolol, propanol, or none of these? Propanol, 2-propanolol, 3-propanol. Iodoform test, guys. Iodoform test. This is your 2-propanol. Okay. 5,5-diethyl barbituric acid is the common name of what? 5,5-diethyl barbituric acid. Phenobarbital, barbitone, thiopental, or pentobarbital. What's that? Guys. Anyone? Over here? That's your barbitone, right? Barbitone is going to be the correct answer. Which of the following enantiomer of ibuprofen is active? Enantiomer, ibuprofen. Is it your plus, S minus, R plus, or R minus? Yeah. Anyone? Hmm? Yeah, this is your S plus over here. Okay, S plus. CH3CHO OCH3CHO. Okay, and CH3CH2 considered a pair of. Okay, here you can see this is your ether group, right? This is your ether group, and this is your obviously what carboxylic group, है So that is a functional group change. I think the position isomer, metamers, optical isomer, or functional isomer. I think that would be your functional isomer. Yes, functional isomer is going to be your correct answer, right? Geometrical isomerism shows by cis trans, cis or trans. Over here, you can see this is what, this is your trans, right? This is your trans. No, this is also not. This is also not. No, this is also not. CS3, CS3, CS3. Okay. Which one is correct over here? Which one is correct over here? That's your B only, right? This is your cis trans Chauhan mechanism. Okay. Which of the following is your aromatic in nature? Okay, aromatic in nature. This is what? Hana? Pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi. Okay. Pi, sigma, pi, sigma, pi. All right. This is your aromatic. Okay. So 4n plus 2, 4n plus 2 pi electrons. So how much? 2 to 4. 4 means 4. Okay, the 4n plus 2 is equal to 4. 4n becomes 2 and n is equals to 2 by 4. So this is your what? Not these are anti-aromatic, right? This is your anti-aromatic one. Okay, over here if I talk about, then 4n plus 2, 1, 2, 3, 3, and this is not participating. Okay, the 4n plus 2 is equal to 3 into 2, that's your 6. The 4n plus 2 udhar gaya, so that is your 4, and n is equal to 1. So yes, this becomes your aromatic in nature. This is your aromatic in nature. B is going to be your correct answer. Okay, chalo. Yes, B is going to be your correct answer. Now, which of the following statement is incorrect about benzene? Incorrect about benzene over here. Incorrect about benzene. All of the carbon atoms are sp hybridized. It has delocalized electrons. The carbon-carbon bond lengths are all the same. All 12 atoms lie in the same plane. What's that? Yeah, anyone? Benzene, these are your all carbon atoms are your sp hybridized, right? Incorrect. These are your sp2 hybridized, not sp hybridized. Okay. Characteristic reactions of aromatic hydrocarbons are initiated by electrophiles, nucleophiles, free radical or uncharged molecules. These are your electrophilic addition reaction. Benzene observed in which type of reaction of benzene? Electrophilic substitution, addition, nucleophilic substitution, nucleophilic addition. Yeah, this is your nucleophilic substitution. Dash describes the rate of reaction and how fast equilibrium is reached. Okay, kinetic, thermodynamic, or none of the above. Describe the rate of reaction, the rate of kinetic and how fast equilibrium that is. Thermodynamic, obviously that would be A or B. Kinetic, okay, kinetic is the correct answer. The displacement of electrons of a multiple bond in the presence of attacking reagent is called inductive effect, electromeric effect, resonance effect, hyperconjugation effect. Yeah, that is your electromeric effect over here. The energy of board form of cyclohexane differs from chain form by how much? What is the difference between the chain form and board form? What's that? That is your 6 kilojoule, 44 kilojoule, 0.6 kilojoule, or 16 joule. Yeah, that is your 6 kilojoule per mole. Lactic acid is also known as ethane dioic acid, dihydroxysuccinic acid, 2-hydroxypropanoic acid, or ethanoic acid. Lactic acid I'm talking about this. Lactic acid, this is your 2-hydroxypropanoic acid. Chloroquine is an antimalarial drug which belongs to the class of, okay, 4-aminoquinoline, 8-aminoquinoline, or 9-aminoquinoline, or acridine. Which has been useful in your malaria. What's that? That is nothing but your 4-aminoquinoline. If I talk about 8-amino, then it is your primaquine. Okay, so make sure you remember that. Okay, how much solute is present in 0.5% weight by volume solution? Okay, 0.5% weight by volume solution. Okay, 0.5%. If I talk about 0.5%, 0.5 gram in 1 ml, no. 0.5 gram in 1 liter, no. 0.5 gram in 100 ml, yes. C is going to be your correct answer, because percentage only takes through in your what? 100, no? So 100 would be your correct answer. C. Simple. Okay, pharmaceutical analysis, 25 MCQs over here. Tesla is a unit to express what? Frequency, pressure, voltage, or magnetic field? Magnetic field. Magnetic field, that's your Tesla. Okay, remember. The functional group which acts as chromophore. Chromophore which gives the absorbance, which is going to increase the absorbance. Is it your cyno group, hydroxy group, amino group, or sulfhydryl group? That is your cyno group over here. Larmor equation. Larmor equation can be represented by the equation that's your dV is equal to gamma upon 2 pi into H naught. Okay. Now, acid chloride gives peak in IR at 1650 centimeter inverse, 1700 centimeter inverse, 1600 centimeter inverse, 1780 centimeter inverse. What's that? Yeah, 1650 centimeter inverse, 1700 centimeters inverse, 1670 centimeters inverse, 1780 centimeter inverse. What's that, guys? This is your simple 1780 centimeter inverse. Ion selective electrode, ISE is an example of ion selective, which are going to be takes the ion only. Reference electrode, indicator, inert or counter electrode. That's your indicator electrode specific. Polymer structure is determined by the technique X-ray diffraction, microbeam diffraction, NMR, or all. That is your all. All of these following, all of these ones are useful for the determination of polymer. Okay. Kaiser is a unit of Kaiser, wave number, frequency, wavelength, or all. Guys, Kaiser, if I talk about, so Kaiser is a unit of wave number, right? Remember that. Wave number is useful to show in the graph of your IR. Okay, remember that. Percentage transmitter is against the wave number. Okay. Now, which electrode is typically used as a reference electrode in potentiometric measurements? Reference electrode in potentiometry. Glass electrode, metal electrode, silver chloride, or calomel electrode? Yeah. That is your calomel electrode. Which of the following is used as indicator electrode in polarography? Glass, dropping mercury chloride, platinum, or silver? Anyone? That's your dropping mercury electrode. In Kārl-Fischer titration is useful for determining the moisture content, right? Determining the moisture content over here. Is it your 1:1, 2:1, 1:2, or 1:2? In between what? What is the molar ratio of water to iodine? That's what I'm asking. Okay, 1:1, 2:1, 1:2, 1:3. That is your 1:1 only over here, right? Okay. Which of the following is used as carrier gas in gas chromatography? Carrier gas in gas chromatography. That is, I think, your helium over here. Yeah, yes. Helium is your gas chromatographic carrier gas. ESR. ESR is applied to only those substances showing paramagnetism, which is due to the magnetic moment of neutron, proton, paired electron, or unpaired electron. Yeah, paired electron or unpaired electron. What's that? That is your unpaired electron only, because that will be not stable, that will be having reactivity, some kind of a thing. That's why ESR is applied to unpaired electron. The number of moles of solute present in 1 kg. Okay, what's they have asked? 1 kg. Okay, 1 kg. If they would have asked 1 liter, then that would be molarity. But here, if I talk about 1 kg, then it would be your molality. Okay, molality. Okay, which of the following statement is correct? Correct, they are asking. Okay, microwave radiation possess more energy than infrared radiation. Infrared radiation has lower wave number than visible light. Infrared radiation has shorter wavelength than visible light. Ultraviolet radiation has longer wavelength than infrared radiation. Anna? Yeah. Anyone? Microwave radiation possesses more energy than infrared radiation. Infrared radiation has lower wavelength than wave number than visible light. Okay. Fingerprint region. Fingerprint region. Favorite question. Anna? Many of the students used to say, sir, fingerprint region is asked everywhere. That's why it become favorite question. Anna? So the fingerprint region or bending vibration occur in the following range. Is it your centimeter inverse? 1500 to 400, below 400, 1500 to 4000, or above 15,000, 1500? Yeah, that is your 15,000, 1500 to 400. Degree of agreement between measured value and true value. Okay. Measured value and true value. That is what? Accuracy, precision, range, or standard deviation. Simple, that would be your accuracy. You know, how much you are near to the standard value, that is your accurate. For example, the marks for your NIPER is your 200. Hai. So 200, sorry, 100, obviously. 100. So out of 100, how much marks you are getting, that defines your accuracy of correct answer. How much questions you are attempting and out of which, how much you are going right, that is your accuracy. Potassium chromate is used as an indicator in Fajans method, Foulard method, Mohr's method, or modified Vollard method case. Yeah, that is your Mohr's method. Okay. What is the term for graphical representation of current versus applied voltage in polarography? Okay, polarography term. Obviously, that's your polarogram. Polarography ki if we are talking about, then obviously it would be your polarogram, right? Dead stop endpoint technique is a type of potentiometry, amperometry, conductometry, or polarography. Yeah. Anyone? That is your amperometry. In thin layer chromatography, the stationary phase is made up of and the mobile phase is made up of. Obviously, if I talk about thin layer chromatography, so what would be that? Solid liquid, liquid liquid, liquid gas, or solid gas? Thin layer. Cellulose. है ना? So cellulose will be what? Solid only. And the mobile phase will be mobile. Solid won't be able to mobile, no? So liquid only over here, so solid liquid. Signaling splitting in NMR arises from shielding effect, spin-spin decoupling, spin-spin coupling, or de-shielding effect. Yeah. Anyone? That would be your spin-spin coupling. Signal splitting will be in the case of spin-spin coupling. Which of the following can be used to detect amino acids in chromatography? Okay. Amino acids in chromatography. For amino acid, what we do? There is a test, no? What's that? Ninhydrin spray. Obviously, ninhydrin test is useful for your amino acid. The ninhydrin spray is also there. 𝘂𝙬𝙎 titration determines what? Okay. Same question that we had earlier as well. That was the composition of 𝘂𝙬𝙎. Now we have the objective of 𝘂𝙬𝙎. Why we are doing it? Objective of 𝘂𝙬𝙎. What's that? Is it your vitamin C content, moisture content, halide, heavy metal? Moisture content, right? Okay. Unit of conductance in SI is what? Conductance. Conductance is just inverse to resistance. Remember? Resistance. So is it your volt, ampere, MHOs, or Siemens? Conductance, guys, that is your Siemens over here. Okay. Oxidation reduction titration is also known as complexometry, gravimetry, redox, or gasometric. Obviously, if I talk about oxidation and reduction, here you can see reduction, oxidation, reduction, oxidation and reduction. That is what oxidation and reduction titration. Oxidation loss of electron, reduction is your gain of electron, right? So, okay. Pharmaceutics and allied subjects, guys, 27 questions. 27 questions over here. Addition of too much flocculating agent results as over flocculating agent, and that leads to produce what? Deflocculated state, flocculated state, crystal growth state, coagulated irreversible system. Yeah. Anyone over here? Deflocculated state, flocculated state, crystal growth state, coagulated irreversible system. Yeah, that's your coagulated irreversible system. If you what use flocculated agents a lot more, there will be a lot more clogs will be there, huh? And that will not be a reversible kind of thing once you shake that suspension. So obviously this coagulated irreversible system will be taking place, right? Okay. Now, which one of the following distillation method is known to be as our equilibrium distillation? Okay, equilibrium, flash, fractional is not, molecular or simple distillation. Simple distillation is also not. Flash or molecular. This question came in your GPAT 2026. So what's that? What's that over here? Yeah, that is your flash distillation. Molecular free pathway, that is your mean pathway, that is comes under molecular distillation. Okay. All right. In tablet, neotame is used as, okay, neotame, aspartame, saccharine. These are nothing but your sweeteners only, right? Okay. Anna, here you can see neotame. What is the primary mechanism of drug release and diffusion control system? Okay, diffusion control system. As the name only suggests, that will be controlling the diffusion part. Anna, so what's that over here? Chemical reaction between the drug and the matrix material, active transport of the drug across a membrane, movement of drug molecules through a polymer matrix or membrane, enzymatic degradation. Simple. What's that? That's just C only, movement of drug molecule through polymer matrix or membrane. Match the following tablet coating and their purpose. Okay. Seal coating, subcoating, polishing or printing. Yeah. Anyone? Seal coating, subcoating, polishing or printing. Yeah. Seal coating to prevent the moisture penetration in tablet. So one ka Q obviously. So this D is going to be a correct answer. Simple. Anna, obviously over here. Okay. Chalo. D 1Q 2R 3S 4P. Yes, this is your 2. Okay, the rate of heat flow through a uniform material is proportional to the area and the temperature drop and inversely proportional to the length of the path of flow. Okay. Is it your Fourier's law, Stephen-Boltzmann law, Fanning's law, or Poiseuille law? Yes, that's the rate of filtration, guys. Rate of filtration part. That's your Fourier's law. Okay. Now, vulcanization of rubber. Oh, from the class 11th only, Anna. From class 11 only, we have been studying this vulcanization of rubber. What's that? Vulcanization of rubber. That is through only sulfur, Anna. Sulfur. Simple. Here you can see vulcanization. Sulfur combines with polymeric change of rubber and cross links between them. That is your vulcanization. Right? Rotosort is an equipment of what? Rotosort. Sort means sorting. Sorting of what? Powder or pellets to separate unfilled capsule, to fix the cap and body of the capsule after filling, to separate the improper tablet, to adjust the required compression for the tablets. Obviously not. That is your this one, to separate unfilled capsule. Yes, yes. So this one is also important, guys. These equipment, this table is also very much important. Which of the following medicaments has the highest displacement value? Alum, iodoform, zinc oxide, or tannic acid? Highest displacement value over here. Yeah, displacement value over here. That is your iodoform, right? So, dimethyl formamide, DMF, as pharmaceutical solvent can be avoided in which type of filter? Okay, because that's your penetration enhancer. DMF, DMSO, these are your penetration enhancer. So acrylic with nylon substrate, cellulose acetate, nylon 66 or polysulfone. That's your acrylic with nylon substrate over here. Okay. गुड इवनिंग दिवेक, है ना? पहचान गए? नहीं पहचाने? नहीं पहचाने होगे शायद, है ना? फिर पूछोगे कौन आ गया ये बोर्ड पे. गुड इवनिंग है, अलग ही नशे में हो, आज भी नशे में हो, है ना दिवेक? Okay, now if pyrogenic substance is injected in a vein of rabbit and elevation of temperature occurs within a period of 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 hours or 3 days, that would be what? That would be what? 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 hours or days? What's that? That's your 0.6 degree, 0.6 degree in 3 hours only over here, I think, where is that degree they have written or not? No, they have not written the degree of Celsius. 0.6 degree Celsius over here in the period of 3 hours. Okay, pyrogen test also known to be as your sham test. Yeah. Okay. Apart from salt test, we do have lal test as well. Limulus amoebocyte lysate test. For preparation of large vials and bottles, which method is used? Preparation of large vials and bottles. Preparation of large vials and bottles. Casting, blowing, pressing, or drawing. What's that? Yeah, that is your casting over here. Okay. Glass can tolerate pressure up to, okay, 50 psig, less than 25 psig, 100 psig, or none. What's that? Glass. Glass. That's it. Less than 25 psig. Okay. Sure. NIPER free batch, guys. I hope you are already enrolled in that one. You just have to download the GDC classes app. And once you get onto the GDC classes app, there is a batch section. Plus icon. NIPER 26 is the batch code. And once you enroll that one, you will be getting those free tests. Okay. Beeswax esters is the main ingredient of beeswax. Oleogenesis base, absorption base, emulsion base, or water soluble base. Yes, anyone? That is your absorption base over here. Okay. By the way, these are very much important. Absorption base, oleogenesis base. The complete separation of top or bottom crown of tablet is called as capping, lamination, mottling, or sticking. Mottling, that's an uneven distribution of color. Lamination is nothing but your complete separation. Okay. I think that's what I think. Lamination only. No, it's capping. Okay. Then what's lamination? Capping and lamination both over here. No. Separation of into two or more distinct layer, capping partial or complete. Okay. Chalo. Example of physical incompatibility. Okay. Physical incompatibility, guys. Alkali plus acid. Chemical. This alkaloid plus acid, magnesium hydroxide plus what? Plus gone. Plus gone. Castor oil plus water, because these are immiscible in nature. You know that oil and water doesn't even miscible at any time. That's your castor oil and water. Okay, the vascular fluid volume, including those of the plasma. Okay, vascular fluid volume, including those of the plasma, is approximately, that's your 6, right? 6 is your correct answer. Volume liters, 6. Okay. Now, which equation can be directly used to determine the molecular weight of polymer from its aqueous viscosity data? Debye equation, Einstein-Sutherland equation, Mark-Honig equation, Stokes-Einstein equation. Yep. Anyone? That's your Mark-Honig equation. Okay. Chalo. These table are very much also important. Okay. So make sure you remember that. Plasma volume can be determined by high molecular weight substances like C51 𝙂𝙄𝙎𝘾𝙐𝙎 green, deuterium oxide, or antipyrine. Yeah, simple, right? This is too simple, guys. Do tell me in the comment section. What's the correct answer over here? Yeah. What's the correct answer over here? That is nothing but your indocyanine green. Okay. So this is also important. Plasma, Evans blue, 𝙂𝙄𝙎𝘾𝙐𝙎 green, and iodine 131 as well as albumin. Erythrocyte, Cr51. Okay. Extracellular, these are your isotopes, radioisotopes, mannitol, inulin, raffinose. Total body water, deuterium oxide. Evaporator with short tube, climbing film evaporator, rising film evaporator, triple effect evaporator, forced circulation evaporator. Yeah. Anyone? What's that, guys? That is your triple effect evaporator, because you will be seeing a short tube going from one evaporator to second evaporator. Okay. Sure. Okay. A dose of 300 mg is for adult. What is the dose for approximately 7-year-old child with weighing 48 lbs. 48 lbs, that's your pounds, है ना, 48 pounds. So 66.6 mg, 65.6 mg, 96 mg or 80 mg, है ना. Let's take the calculation over here, है ना. So 48 upon 150. 150 is your the conversion, है ना. What is the conversion over here? The weight 848. 48 upon 150 into 300, that is going to be your 96 mg. Okay. Okay. Which of the following ingredients can be used for thickening shampoos? Okay. Shampoos viscosity is going to be increased by using which of the following? Glycerine and lactic acid, carboxymethyl cellulose, bentonite and beeswax, mineral oil or olive oil. हाँ guys. Anyone? Over here? Yes. है ना? That's your carboxymethyl cellulose only, which is going to thicken the shampoos. है ना? It can thicken anything because that's a okay. Thickening agents. Optical isomerism is used to for the determination of particle size. Optical. The name itself over here. 0.2. 0.2 micrometer to 100 micrometer. Right? So this is you have to remember. Okay. Now, EDTA, an example of EDTA, ethylene diamine tetraacetic acid. Very simple. Very simple. 0.2. Sorry. Unidentate, bidentate, tridentate, or hexadentate. Obviously, that's going to your hexadentate lithium, right? Okay. Now, the surface tension of glycerine against water at 20 degrees Celsius. Glycerine, I am talking about. 15.6, 52.3, 63.4, 8.51. Yeah. Anyone? Yeah, this is your 63.4. What's the surface tension of water? That's your 72.4 something, right? Water, that's your 72.8 surface tension. Okay. The properties of solutions containing surface active agent change sharply over a narrow concentration range are called as. Okay, concentration range, guys. What's that concentration? That is also CMC over here. What's that CMC? That is nothing but critical micellar concentration, है ना? A. Critical micellar concentration, that is the concentration where it changes sharply over a narrow concentration. Alright? Alright, chalo. The class 1 of BCS classification. Class 1 of BCS classification. Obviously, that would be your high, high, low, high, high, low, low, low. That is in the case of solubility. That is in the case of permeability. The first, second, third, and fourth. Yeah. What's that? That would be your first. That's your HH. है ना? High, high. है ना? High solubility, high permeability. Right? Biotechnology, 3 MCQs. Okay. Now, the vector mostly used in the crop improvement over here. The vector. Okay. Vector, guys. Plasmid, cosmid, phasemid, or agrobacterium. Crop improvement. The crop improvement that is associated with agriculture. Agriculture to over here. The agrobacterium. Simple. Hana? D. Right? Agrobacterium tumefaciens. The specific binding agent used in Western blotting. Okay, binding agent, guys. Binding agent is what? Antigen, antibody, enzyme, or albumin. What will you bind? You will be binding through that antibody only, है because you put antibody onto those chemiluminescence blot paper, है then you will be having that. Okay, primary antibody, secondary antibody. Then, okay, polyploidy is defined as addition of one chromosome, multiplication of entire chromosome, submicroscopic changes in DNA material, or cross-structural changes. That is your multiplication of entire chromosomes. That is your polyploidy. Okay, polyploidy. All right. Yeah, microbiology 5 MCQs. Microbiology 5 MCQs. All of the following microorganisms are present in the normal flora of the eye except is your epidermis, aureus, diphtheriodes, or E. coli. What's that, guys? Yeah. Epidermis, aureus, diphtheroids or E. coli over here. Normal flora of the eye except, obviously that would be your E. coli. E. coli if there, that will be having your eye infection. E. coli. Now, in the official bioassay of erythromycin is your macrolides. Which strain is used? Bacillus subtilis, Micrococcus luteus, Salmonella typhi, or Escherichia coli? What's that? That's your Micrococcus luteus over here. Okay, this table is very much important, guys. Make sure you remember this one. Okay, Staphylococcus aureus produce which color colonies on blood agar? Okay, Staphylococcus aureus produce which color of colonies on blood agar? Agar is your solidifying agent, which is also a nutrient media for those bacteria, right? So what kind of colonies that takes place through Staphylococcus aureus? Pink color, yellow color, colorless, or black color? Staphylococcus, that is your yellow color, because agar is also having yellow color of agent. Okay, here you can see this is your agar media. Within the agar media we do have something like that. Okay, chalo. The stain, okay, the stain is used to demonstrate fungus. Okay, fungus, guys. Albert staining, nigrosin stain, lactophenol, cotton blue. Yeah, anyone over here? That is a lactophenol cotton blue. Okay, so scarlet fever can be diagnosed by scarlet fever, Dick test, Wasserman test, Wesson blotting, or rose water test. Yeah, scarlet test. Scarlet fever, sorry, scarlet fever, that is your Dick test only over here. Dick test can be diagnosed by skull. By the way, this table is also very much important in the context of your NIPER examination microbiology. Okay, all right, please. Chalo. All right, guys. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your presence over here. I hope I have made you clear around the MCQs over here that we have discussed, and wishing you all the very best for your rest of the preparation. Thank you so much, guys. Take care.
Good morning, everyone. So let's start our known pharma section. We will cover our general knowledge, reasoning, aptitude, and general English. So first we start from reasoning. So question number 1 from the reasoning is, if A stands for minus, B stands for positive, and C stands for multiply, then what will be the value of 9C5B? So there's a sequence having alphabet and numbers. So you have to replace A by minus, B by plus, and C by multiplication. Then what will the value of this expression we have to find? So what is the answer? If you replace C by multiply, that is 9 multiply 5, B by plus, that is plus 10, A by minus, that is 10 minus 5, and C by multiply, that is 12. So 9 multiply 5 plus 10 minus 5 multiply 12. So what is the answer? So 9 5s are 45 plus 10 minus 12 5 just 60. So you have to solve this, you will get your answer, that is 55 minus 60, you will get minus 5. So minus 5 is the answer. So option number C is correct. Option number C is correct. Now move to another question. There are 6 students A, B, C, D, E, F in a class. Their height is compared. D is shorter than B but taller than A. She is shorter than D is shorter than B but taller than A. That means B is greater than D is greater than A. Okay. Now B is shorter than C. So B is shorter than C. It means what? That is C, B, D, A. Okay. Now A is taller than E and F. So A is taller than E and F. That means A height is greater than this. So from this we will get like this expression. Okay. Now if we arrange, we will get what? That is C, B, D, A, E, comma, F. So we have to find how many students are shorter than D. So how many students are shorter than D? That is 1, 2, 3. So answer is what? That is C. That is 3. Now move to another question, that is select the letter that can replace the question mark. So there is a sequence of letters. We have to replace the question mark with appropriate letter. Okay. So R, W, B, G, L. Like how we get that? That is when we move forward by 5 steps, we will get what? W. Again by 5 we will get B. Again by 5 we will get G. So when we get 5 steps forward, we will get what? That is Q. So option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now move to another question. Select the letter that can replace the question mark. So we have done this question. Here's the explanation also given. Now we have 4 options. We have to find the odd one, that is a brick, cement, sand, wall. So what is different? Like brick, cement, sand, with the help of this we will form what? Wall. That is, so what is odd one? That is wall. So option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now if 0 is encoded as ADSN, ADSN, then how to encode it? Stop. We have to find how to encode it. Stop. Okay. So Z, one step forward we will get A, that is Z. One step forward we will get what? That is A. Then ED, like E, if we backward one step we will get what? That is D. Again by plus, that is R. If we move forward we will get what? That S. Again by O we will move backward, we will get what? That is N. Similarly we can do with this code, that is STOP. We will get answer, our answer. Okay. So the answer is what? That is answer is TSPO. That is TSPO is the answer. Okay. Now move to the next. 6 friends A, B, C, D, E and F sitting around a hexagonal table. So there is a hexagonal table. Each at one corner are facing the center of the table. So all are facing the center. A is second to the left of F. B is the neighbor of C and D. E is second to the left of D. So what we get? That is C, B, D, A, E, F. So we have to find who is the third person sitting to the left. So B is there. Who is sitting left of the B? That is E. So option number A is correct. That is E. Now Anuj is the son of the only daughter of the father of Ajay's brother. How is Ajay related to Anuj? So here is the tree, like father, brother, Ajay and Anuj. So how is he related? That is mother's brother, maternal uncle. Now which of the following diagram indicate the best relation between profit, dividend and bonus? As we know, profit like dividend, bonus. So option number B is correct. That is option number B is correct. Profit, under profit, dividend and bonus. So dividend, bonus. Now there is a series. We have to identify which number does not belong to the sequence. That is 14, 10, 14, 28, 32, 64, 68, 132. So the sequence of the given number is what? That is, if you multiply 10 plus 4, you will get what? 14. 14 multiplied 2, what is you get? That is 14 to the 28, that is 28. Again 28 plus 4 you will get what? That is 32. Again 32 multiply 2, that is 64. Again 64 plus 4, what you get? That is 68. So 68 multiply 2 is what? 8 to the 16, 1, 6 to the 12, 13. So what we get? That is 136 and there is 132. So 132 is the answer. That is odd one number that belongs that is not belong to that to the given series. In certain code, 564 means all the best, 736 means best of luck. 564 means all the best, 736 means a best of luck. Now 423 means all is luck. Which is the following word? We have to find 4, 6. Okay. So if you see, here is also 6 and 6 is there. So common is what? That is best. So here is best, here is bad, and 6 is here and 6 is here. So meaning of 6 is what? That is best. So option number B is correct. Option number B is correct. Now move to the next, that is question number 131. X introduce Y. He is the husband of the granddaughter of father of my father. How is Y related to X? So here is the tree. X grandfather, X father, X sister. So how is related? That is brother-in-law. That is brother-in-law. So here is the series in question number 132. We have to replace the question mark with appropriate number. So 5, 7, 3, 9, 1, 11. So how will you get? That is, if you plus 5 plus 2 is what? That is 7. That is 7. If you subtract 7, if you subtract 4 from the 7, you will get what? That is 7 minus 4 is what? That is 3. Okay. Again when you add 3 plus 6, you will get, that is 9. So 9 minus what? That is 8, you will get 1. So again 1 plus 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. 1 plus 10 is equals to 11. So again 11 minus 12, you will get what? That is minus 1. So answer is what? That is minus 1. Option number A is correct. Next is 4-letter cluster have been given, out of which 3 are alike in some manner and 1 is different. So we have to find the odd one. 𝘂𝙎𝑖𝑉𝑂, NP, MK, BD, YWFIUR. Okay. So the 𝘂𝑖𝑉𝑂 is the correct answer. NP, MK, NP plus 2, MK minus 2. So plus 2 minus 2 pattern. Again plus 2 minus 2 pattern. FIR plus 3. So there is some pattern. Forward step and backward step. If you see 𝘂𝑖𝑉𝑂, there is not a proper step, that is forward or backward. So 𝘂𝑖𝑉𝑂 is the correct answer. Now in this question, which of the following letter is 8th to the right of the 12th letter in the English? So we can directly solve this question. Like how? That is a T8 like in, if you see, like 12th letter of English alphabet is L. Now 8 letters to the right is what? That is MNOPQRST. That is 8. So that is T is the answer. Now 4 words have been given, out of which 3 are alike in some manners, like pyramid, slender, cuboid, circle. If you see, all these are like slender, cuboid, circle are the part of what? That is pyramid, slender, cuboid are all 3D. That is 3 dimension. If you circle is 2D. That is 2 dimensional. So odd one is what? That is circle. So option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Next, in a certain code language, Mufasa is written as UMAFAS. That is UM. That is this. So how can we write? That is OSNNTE. So the answer is what? That is OSNNTE. That is option number D is correct. Now move to the next question. That is question number 137. So what is the angle between hands of a clock at 7:15? We have to find the angle. Okay, so we can directly use the formula that theta is equals to 30 in bracket 7 minus, that is we have 7 15, 7 are 15 minute. Okay, so we put 7 here and 15 here. When we solve, we will get what? That is 127.5 degree. Among the following word, which one will come last if they are arranged as per order in the English dictionary? Which come last? That is A, B, 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 having B, B, B. Then A is here, I is here, O is here. So from this or this is the answer, that is D. Then what is the answer? That is aboriginal. That is option number D is correct. What is the time? What is the time? What time is shown in the mirror if real time is one ratio, that is 147. Real time is what? That is 147. So what we see? That is, if you see, mirror time is equals to what? 1160 minus, this is the formula of actual time. So we will get what? That is 10:13. Rajni was facing. So Rajni is facing, like here is east, west, north, south. So Rajni is facing northwest, that is in this direction. She moved forward 5 meter. She moved 5 meter forward and turn left. Then she take left, that is this, in this direction, and walk 3 meter. That is 3 meter. Then she turned right, that is in this direction, and walk 8 meter. That is 8 meter. And stop there. Which direction now? Now in which direction she is facing? That is northwest. So option number D is correct. That is option number D is correct. That is northwest. That is northwest is the correct answer. Next is, select the numbers from among the given option that can replace the question mark in the following series. So we have to replace the question mark. Okay, that is 7 4 1 8 5 2 9. Okay, so if you see 7 4 1 8 5 2 9 question mark. So what is the number we get? That is, if you see pairing of 3, that is 7 4 minus 1, decrease by 3 each times, that is 8 5 2. So decrease by, we will get what? That is 7 9 6 3. Okay, 7 minus 3 4, 4 minus 3 is equals to 1, 8 minus 3 is like 5, 5 minus 3 is 2, so 9 minus 3 is 6, 6 minus 3 is what? That is 963. Now 170, 197, 226. Now the next number is what? If you subtract 197 from 170 from 197, you will get what? That is 7, that is 27. Again by subtracting 226, 197 from 226, what you get? That is 29. That is 29. Okay, so now what you get? That is 31. So you will add 31 to this, you will get your answer. That is 257. That is 257. If M is N's sister, O is N's wife, Q is the father of N, and P is the daughter of Q, then what is the relation between M and P? We have to find the relation between M and P, that is sisters. Here's the tree, like Q, M, P, so sisters. How many students are there in class? We have to find. Like Mohan ranked 9th from the top and 36th from the bottom in the class. So we can directly use, that is 9 plus 36 minus 1. 9 plus 36 minus 1, we will get answer, that is 44. So what rank? So how many students are there? That is 44. Option number B is correct. That is option number B is correct. Okay, now move to the next question. That is question number 145. Reasoning means like there is some ratio and proportion question. Okay, wait a minute. So if you see reason, SFBT PO, and think is what? That is THINK. So what will you get? That is UIJOL. So RSEFABSTOP. Similarly, 𝙂𝙋𝘼𝙎𝑗, you will get 𝘂𝙂𝙎𝑗. Now some general knowledge questions. Okay, we have to find which state has launched the country's first mining tourism initiative. Which state government has launched the country's first mining tourism initiative? Chhattisgarh, Odisha, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh. Which? That is a B. Vijay Yadav. B. Odisha. No. The answer is Jharkhand. That is option number C. So Jharkhand government has launched the country's first mining tourism initiative. Next, where was India's first Indian Institute of Creative Technology, that is IICT, modeled after IITs and IIMs recently inaugurated? Where? That is Delhi, Bangalore, Pune, Mumbai. Where? That is, where was India's first Indian Institute of Creative Technology, that is IICT, modeled after the IITs and IIMs recently inaugurated? Where? In Mumbai. So option number D is correct. In Mumbai. The Indian Navy launched India's first indigenously built diving support vessel, DSV. What is its name? INS Dhruv, INS Anvesh, INS Nistar, INS Sandhyak. So the answer is what? That is INS Nistar. That is option number C is correct. Now move to the next question, that is, which bank has been named the world's best consumer bank for year 2025 by the American magazine Global Fur? That is HDFC Bank, ICICI Bank, SBI Bank, Bank of Baroda. Which bank? That is SBI Bank has been named the world best consumer bank for year 2025 by American magazine. Who has recently become India's 87th Grandmaster? V. Praneeth, 𝙂𝙂𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙬, A.R.A. Harikrishnan, R. Praganandan. The answer is what? That is A.R.A. Harikrishna has recently become India's 87th Grandmaster. Next, which site in India has UNESCO recently officially included in its World Heritage List? Monuments of Delhi Sultanate, Maratha military forts, sacred enables of the Hoysalas, monuments of the Brahmani Sultanate. Which? That is Maharashtra military forts. Who has been the first and the only Indian to be featured in Time 100 Creator List 2025? Bhuvan Bam, Prajakta Kohli, Ajay Nagar, Lily Singh. Who has become the first and only Indian to be featured in Time 100 Creators List 2025? That is Prajakta Kohli. That is Prajakta Kohli. Which has become the first African country to adopt India's Unified Payments Interface, that is UPI. Which has become the first African country to adopt India's UPI? Kenya, Nigeria, Ghana, Namibia. That is Namibia. Namibia. Option number D is correct. Next, which Sudan's Scottish writer has been awarded the Pan Pinter Prize for year 2025? Which? Zadie Smith, 𝘿𝙬𝙎𝑗, Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. She is like a writer, very famous writer. Margaret Atwood. That is 𝘿𝙬𝙎𝙎. In response to Operation Sindoor, under what name did Pakistan launch a campaign against India? Operation Tabhai, Operation Shamsher, Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsoor, Operation Sarhad. Which operation did India launch a campaign against India in response of Operation Sindoor? That is Operation Bunyan-ul-Marsoor. Which country has recently launched the world's first national level cryptocurrency payment system? Singapore, Switzerland, Bhutan, Japan. Which? That is Bhutan. Option number C is correct. Recently, what percentage stake in Yes Bank has SBI and 7 other banks sold? 10%, 15%, 25%. How much? That is 20%. Option number C is correct. Which Indian cricketer has announced retirement from Test cricket? Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, 𝙂𝙂𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙬𝙎, both A and B. That is Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. Answer is what? Which Indian cricketers has announced retirement from Test cricket? That is Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. That is option number D. Recently, which country has become the first in the world to develop genome edited rice varieties? America, Japan, India, Brazil. That is India. Option number C is correct. Option number C is correct. Who has recently been appointed as the 52nd Chief Justice of India? Justice K. Sanjay Murthy, Justice S. Shivaganama, Justice B.R. Gawai, Justice 𝘿𝙂𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎. So the answer is that Justice B.R. Gawai. Indian Railway has recently installed the country's first train ATM in which train? Vande Bharat, Mumbai Manmad Panchavati Express, Shatabdi Express, Kaveri Express. In which train? First ATM, country's first train ATM in which train? That is in Mumbai Manmad Panchavati Express. Who won the title of 15th Hockey India Senior Women's National Championship? Jharkhand, Army, Chhattisgarh, Rajasthan. So answer is what? That is Jharkhand. Option number A is correct. What is the India's rank in the Human Development Report 2025? 122, 130, 144, 126. That is which rank? That is 130th rank. Where has Uttar Pradesh first semiconductors unit been established? Varanasi, Agra, Noida, Ayodhya. That is in Noida, Jewar, Noida. Who has recently successfully tested the indigenous stratospheric airship platform from Shiopur in Madhya Pradesh? ISRO, DRDO, HAL, BEL. That is DRDO. Option number B is correct. That is DRDO. Which institution provides long-term industrial finance? NABARD, SIDBI, IFCI, RBI. Which? That is IFCI. Industrial Finance Corporation of India. Which economic system is followed in India? Capitalist economic, socialist, mixed economist, or communist? Which state? That is mixed in India. Which country, which economic system is followed in India? That is mixed economy. The personal care and beauty group Mamaearth was co-founded by which husband-wife team? Anand Saha and Ankit Jain, 𝘿𝙄𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎 and Varun Algha, Divyanka Turakia and Bhavin Turakia, Subhadra Chadda and Vivek Prabhakar. So the answer is what? That is 𝘿𝙎𝙎𝙎𝙎 and Varun Algha. What is the scientific study of birds called? Entomology, ornithology, herpetology, ichthyology. So the answer is what? That is ontology. To which country has the International Chess Federation FIDE awarded the hosting of FID World Cup 2025? China, Russia, India, USA. That is India. Option number C is correct. Now some aptitude questions. Okay. So question number is, what is the value of 4 plus 2 raised to power 2 minus 4 divided by 2 is? So if you see 4 plus 2 is what? That is 6 square minus 4 divided by 2. That is 36 minus 4 upon 2. That is 32 upon 2. That is 16. So answer is what? That is 16. Option number B is correct. Option number B is correct. Now move to another question. That is, find the ratio of mean proportion of 81 and 64. So like how to find mean proportion? Mean proportion formula is what? That is mean proportion is root AB, and third proportion formula we use, that is b square upon a, that is b square upon a. So for mean proportion, root 81 multiply 64, so what you get, that is 9 multiply 8, that is 8 9s are 72, and for third proportion, that is 30 multiply 30 upon 20, that is 15, that is 15 multiply 3, that is 45. So if you find the ratio, that is 72 ratio 45, that is 72 ratio 45. Okay, so 9, when we divide by 9, we will get our answer, that is 8 ratio 5. 8 9s are 72 and 8 5s are 45, that is 8 ratio 5, that is option number A is correct. Now move to another question, that is question number 173. So question number 123 is like in A by B is equals to 2 by 3 and B by C is equals to how much, that is 4 by 3. So we have to find A plus B and B upon B plus C. So first we have to find what? We have to common the value of A. First we have to find the A ratio B ratio C. Our target, first we have to find A ratio B ratio C. Like how to find? If you see A by B is how much, that is, if you see A ratio B is how much, that is 2 ratio 3, and B ratio C is how much, that is 4 ratio 5. So if you multiply here by 4 and here by 3, you will get what, that is A ratio B ratio C is what, 8 ratio 12 ratio 5 3s are 15. So what is the value of A, that is 8. So 8 plus 12 upon 12 plus 15. 8 plus 2 is 10, that is 20 upon what, that is 27. So answer is what, that is 20 upon 27. Option number A is correct, that is 20 upon 27. Next is question number 174. A can do a work in 15 days, B in 20 days. So A complete his work in 15 days, B in 20 days. So if they work together for 4 days, then what work remaining, we have to find what fraction of the work is left. So A do for 15 days, B do for 20 days. As we know, work is equals to time into efficiency. First we have to, here is time, we have to find total work. By taking LCM, we can find our what, that is total work. So what is, that is 60. So 15 4s and 2 3s are. So here's the efficiency of A and B. It means A do 4 work in a single day. Similarly, B do 3 work in a single day. So if they work together, what, that is 7. The efficiency of A and B is 7. If they work for 4 days, that how much work they have completed, that is 7 multiply 4, that is 28. So 60 minus 28, that is 32. So how much work is left, that is 32. That is 32, and from which, that is 60 was. So 60 upon 32, when we solve this, we will get answer, that is 8 by 15. So 8 by 15 is the work left. Okay, 8 by 15, that is option number D is correct. Now move to the question number 175. So question number 175 is in covering a distance of 30 kilometer, Arun takes 2 hours more than Anil. Okay, Arun take, covering 30 kilometer distance, Arun take 2 hours more than Anil. If Arun doubles his speed, then he would take 1 hour less than Anil. What is Arun's speed? So we have to find what, that is, we have to find Arun's speed. So if Arun's speed is x, then Anil's speed is what, that is Anil's speed is what, that is y. If we take x and y, okay, so Arjun time is how much, Arun's time is how much, that is 30 by x. So Anil's time is what, that is 30 by y plus 2, because he takes 2 hours more. Okay, so what, that is 30 by x upon 30 by y, we can put in a equal. that is 30 upon y plus 2, that is 30 in bracket 1 upon x minus 1 upon y is equals to 2. Okay, so y minus x, we can say that y minus x is equals to how much, or another is 15 in bracket y minus x is equals to xy. Okay, so first is what, that is x y minus 15, xy minus 15 plus 15x is equals to 0, that is 15x is equals to 0. Okay, and the second is xy plus 15y minus 30, x is equals to 0. When we solve, we will get our value of x. Y we will get, that is 3 by 2x, and x is what, that is 5. So x is what, that is 5 kilometer per hour. That is option number B is correct. That is option number B is correct. Now question number 176. By selling a mobile for rupees 16870, our shopkeeper loses rupees 1080. How much losses? That is 1. By selling a mobile for rupees 16870, our shopkeeper loses rupees 1080. What will be his percentage of loss? Percentage batana hai. Percentage of loss batana hai. Okay, so we have to find the percentage of loss. Okay, as we know, CP is equals to what? CP is equals to SP plus loss, as we know, because loss is equals to what? That is CP minus SP. Loss is equals to what? That is CP minus SP. So CP is equals to how much? That is a 16870 plus 1080, that is 17950. 17950. So the loss percent is what? That is 1080 upon 17960, 6.02%, that is 6%. So option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now move to another question. Aisha's father was 38 years of age when she was born, and his mother was 36 years old when her brother, 4 years younger to her, was born. What was the age of Aisha's father and mother respectively when her brother was born? Okay, so brother is born 4 years after Aisha. So father's age when Aisha was born is how much? That is 38. When brother was born, that is 38 plus 4. Father, that is 38 plus 4 when his brother born, that is 42 years. That is 42 years. Now mother's age when brother was born, that is 36. So father is what? That is 42, and mother is what? That is 36. So age is 36 and 42. That is option number C is correct. Now the next question. The LCM and HCF of two numbers are 168 and 6. If one number is itna, so we can directly use the formula, that is LCM into HCF is equals to product of two number. So LCM and HCF is given, that is 168 multiply 6 upon 24. We will get another number. Okay, 6 4 is 24, 4 4 is 16, 4 2 is 8. So another number is what? That is 42. So option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now move to the another question, that is, we have given A by D is equals to B by E is equals to C by F is equals to 5 ratio E. So we can say that A by D is equals to B by E is equals to C by F is equals to 5 by 1. So A is equals to 5D, B is equals to 5E, and C is equals to 5F. We can say that. Okay. So A plus B plus C upon D plus E plus F is what? That is, A is what? That is 5D, B is what? That is 5E, and C is what? That is 5E. We can put it there. So 5D plus 5E plus 5F upon D plus E plus F. So we can take 5 as common. So D plus E plus f upon d plus e plus f. We can cancel by this, we'll get, so how what is the value? That is 5 by 1, that is 5:1. So answer is what? That is C. 5:1 is the answer. Now move to another question, that is 180. The gross income of a person is rupees 20,000. 10% of his income is expended from the income tax and his net income is rupees 19,100. The rate of income tax is we have to find. Okay, so the rate of income tax we have to find. So exempted income is what? That is 10% of 20,000. So 10 upon 100 multiply 20,000 can cancel, that is 2,000. That is 2,000. So that is 2,000. Now taxable income, that is 20,000 minus 2,000, that is 18,000. Okay, that is 18,000. Now tax paid is how much? That is 20,000 minus 19,100. So we get what? That is 900. That is 900. Okay, so 900 upon 1800 multiply by 100. So we'll get answer. Okay, we will get answer, that is 5%. That is 5%. So in this question here is 19,000. If you see there is 19,000, we will get what? We will get what? That is 900. Okay, we will get what? That is 900. Now a car traveling 5/7 of its actual speed covers 72 km in 1 hour 40 minutes 48 seconds. What is the actual speed? So we have to find the actual speed. Okay, we have to find what? We have to find actual speeds. The meaning of 1 hour 40 minutes 48 second is what? That is 42 upon 25 hours. 42 upon 25 hours. 42 upon 25 hours. So speed is equals to what? Speed is equals to what? That is distance upon time. So that is 42 upon 42 by 25. So when we solve this, we will get what? That is 25 km per hour speed. That is the speed is what? That is 25 km per hour. Now let the actual speed is x. Is how much? That is x. So 5/7 x is equals to what? That is 25. 5 5 25, x is equals to 35 km per hour. So the answer is what? That is option number B is correct. Now a laptop was sold at a loss of 20%. So there's some laptop sold by loss of 20% for 15,000. Find the cost price of the item. So we have to find the cost price of the item. So loss is equals to 20%. Okay, so SP is what? That is 1500 is equals to 80% of 100 multiply by CP. So 0 cancel by 0. So CP is equals to 15,000 upon 8. So CP is how much? That is 18,750 rupees. That is option number C is correct. Now the next question is question number 183. The sum of age of father and son is 58. That is father plus son is equals to how much? That is 58. The ratio of their ages, the ratio of ages of them is 19/10. That is 19:10. Then find the present age of the son. So we have to find the percentage of son. That is 19x plus 10x is equals to 58. So 29x is equals to what? That is 58. So x is equals to what? That is 2. That is 2. Now we have to find the age of sun. Sun is this, that is 10. So 10 multiplied 2, that is 20 years. So the age of sun is what? That is 20 years. That is option number A. That is option number A. Now move to the next question. That is question number 184. A mixture 40 liter of milk and water contains 10%. How much water must be added to make water 20% into a new mixture? Okay, into a new mixture. Let initial water is equals to 10% of 40. Okay, 10% of 40. So we'll get what? That is 4 liters. Okay, that is 4 liters. Now milk is how much? That is 40 minus 4, that is 36 liters. That is 36 liters. Let x liters of water be added. X liters of water be added. Okay, x liters of water be added. So 4 plus x upon 40 plus x is equals to 20 by 100, that is 1 by 5. That is 1 by 5. So 4 plus x is equals to 40 plus x. So 20 plus 5x is equals to 40 plus x. So 4x is equals to 20, then x is equals to 5. That is 5 liter. That is option number C is correct. That is option number C is correct. Now move to another question. We have to find the A ratio B. We have to find A ratio B. That is 3A plus 5B upon 3A minus 5B is equals to 5. So 3A plus 5B is equals to 15A minus 25B. Okay. So 15A minus 3A is equals to 5B plus 25B. So how much? That is 12A is equals to 30B. 4, 2, 5 are 10. So 2A is equals to 5B. So A by B is equals to 5 by 2. So ratio of AB, that is 5 ratio 2. That is option number D is correct. Option number D is correct. Now move to another question. Now move the another session, that is English, journal English. Okay, so journal English, so question number 1 is choose the word opposite of defiance. Opposite of defiance. So defiance is a bold, open refusal to obey authority. Okay, rules or opposition. Like someone is so much bold, like he gave instant answer. Okay, he doesn't matter. Doesn't matter someone feel bad or good. Okay, he instantly give the answer. So defiance means a very bold person. Okay, so in anxiety, obedience, suspicious, dismay. So the opposite is what? That is option number B, that is obedience. So defiance means open resistance, disobedience or refusal to authority. Okay, next, choose the correct meaning. To run riot. To run riot, be fool others, be violent in action, criticize others, behave in an undisciplined way. Behave in undisciplined. So the to run riot is like behave in an undisciplined way. That is option number D is correct. Choose the correctly spelled word. Phenomenon. Phenomenon. Correct spelling for phenomenon. That is option number B is correct. Phenomenon. Phenomenon. So phenomenon means observable fact or event. It is correct spelling. Next, if a man takes dash quickest train, he will reach early. So if a man takes the quickest, because they were talking about a particular train. Okay, so there is some particular train, so we use what? That is the. Next, it took me almost an hour to fill the application form. No errors. Which having errors we have to find? That is almost an hour. It took me the word R begins with a vowel sound. N R should be used instead of R. So it took me an hour. It took me almost an hour to fill the application form. The road is being repaired by the workers. Option: the workers repaired the road, the workers repaired the road, the workers are repairing the roads, the workers have repaired the roads. The answer is the workers are repairing the roads. They are also working on this project for repairing the roads. Choose the word which has similar meaning of quest. Quest. What is the meaning of quest? A long search for something that is difficult to find. Quest is you are some searching for something from a long time. Okay, that's called quest. So we have to find that is search. Search is the correct answer. Now choose the word which has the opposite meaning of attract. Opposite meaning of attract: defer, deny, repel, exit. So attract is to cause somebody, something to go to something or give attention to something. That is repel. Opposite is repel. Phoenix, we have to rise like a phoenix. That is rise with a new life. Rise with a new life. Choose the correctly spelled word. Embarrass. Embarrass. We have choose the correct one. Okay. So the correct one is embarrass. Who invented microscope? Who invented? A and the no article. Who invented? Who invented the microscope? Because they are particular talking about microscope. So we use the. Next, the teacher has devoted 1 full hour to explain the reason behind the transformation no error. Which one is erring? That is explain the reason. So the correct is the teacher has devoted 1 full hour to explaining the reason behind the transformation. The stadium will inaugurated by the chief minister next month. We have to select the correct active form of the given. The stadium will inaugurated by the chief minister next month. So chief minister, the chief minister will inaugurated the stadium. We will use will. That is option number C is correct. Now we have to find the similar meaning of superiors. Superiors. We have to find the similar meaning of superiors. Superiors is something is false, fake or not genuine. Not genuine. That is fake. That is option number C. Option number C is correct. Choose the word meaning has the similar meaning of mighty. Similar meaning of mighty. Mighty is possessing or showing great power, strength or physical size. Meaning of mighty is possessing or showing great power, strength or physical size. That is weak, strong, tiny or helpless. That is strong. That is strong. So mighty means very powerful, strong. Therefore strong is the correct answer. Weak is lacking strength. Tiny is very small in size. Helpless, unable to take care of oneself. So the mighty lion is known as the king of the jungle. So mighty is powerful, strong. Okay. So this is the end of the today model paper. So we will meet in another model paper. So all the best for your NIPER exam. So take care everyone, and thank you so much for joining GDC, and